Yes, good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 minute now. Now the PPT is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the title of the PPT? Yes.
Balancing of
Yeah, module
Balancing of
2,
rotating and
balancing of rotating
reciprocating.
and reciprocating masses, right? Okay,
Balancing
thank
of
you.
rotating and
Yes.
reciprocating mass.
Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, mute yourself. Yeah, last class we discussed about what do you mean by balancing, right? Balancing is a technique or a process of correcting or eliminating unwanted inertial forces and moments in rotating and reciprocating machineries. When you take a rotating or reciprocating machineries, okay, when it's due to eccentricity, due to the, suppose you consider a shaft, over the shaft a rotor is mounted. You can see that the shaft having its CG is acting, or CG is represented along the centroidal axis of the shaft. But what about the rotor? Where is the CG of the rotor? CG of the rotor is not exactly at the center line of the shaft. No, it has some eccentricity here. You can see in this sketch, in the figure B, it has this eccentricity. The CG of the rotor is not coincide with the CG of the shaft. Then it has some eccentricity. When the shaft rotates at an angular velocity omega or angular speed n, okay, the angular velocity is become 2 pi n by 60. When a shaft rotates at angular speed n, certain rpm, what happens? The rotor will generate a force which is acts radially outward. That force is called as a centrifugal force. A force which acts radially outward. Okay, that force is called a centrifugal force. What its magnitude of centrifugal force is? It is m into r into omega square, or here eccentricity, the CG between the shaft and the rotor, it has eccentricity E, that is me omega square. You know how this formula comes? There is a small derivation. Or else in general, you consider figure here, you can see that the whole mass of the rotor is acted at the CG here. The distance between the CG of the rotor and the CG axis of the shaft is represented as R. That is, what is the force which acts here? When the shaft rotates here, a centrifugal force act radially outward. Its magnitude is mr omega square. And what its direction is? It acts here radially outward. Due to this unwanted inertia forces are generated, then we'll go for eliminate or correct those unwanted inertia forces. Then the technique is called as a balancing. And we discussed about what are the rotary machines are there, what are reciprocating machines are there. Then why do you go for balance it? Once you can see in your home appliances, mixer, grinder, or washing machine, once to start those machines, just to touch the body of those machines or the frames of those machines, we can see a shaking forces which are exerted due to unwanted inertial forces are presented there. Once it is unwanted inertial forces are presented, you can see the shaking forces. Okay, that shaking forces are repeats an equal interval of time, then it undergoes a vibration. In order to remove these shaking forces, then first you go for eliminate that unwanted inertial forces. If it not eliminated here, then it body undergoes a vibration. Then you go for study in detail in the module 4 and 5. That is a theory of free vibration, forced vibration. Okay, first here we'll go for eliminate the unwanted inertial forces in this module, whether it may be rotary machinery or reciprocating machineries, right? And also we discussed about what do you mean by static and dynamic balancing. If you say the body is under static balancing, means even the CG of the rotor is coincide with the CG of the shaft when its body is under rest or it is under uniform velocity or uniform speed, then it is make a balance is nothing but what? The vector sum of all the forces acting on the body is equal to 0. If rotor is set statically balanced, if the vector sum of all the forces is equal to 0, then it called as a static balancing. If it is not equal to 0, then it become a unbalanced static condition. Then you go for add the masses opposite to that one, then you make it balance here. So this is how we make a static balancing here. When several masses are there rotating about the axis, these are the bearings. It shaft rotates at angular velocity, uniform angular velocity omega. If it is static balancing means all the CG of the rotor is coincide with the CG of the shaft, then it becomes static balancing. Or if you draw a force polygon, okay, or vectorial representation, there should be a closed force polygon, then it become a static balancing. Now you can see the for each mass, see the for mass 1, what is the centrifugal force m1 r1 omega square, f1 it is equal to, or fc1 you can take, that is m1 r1 omega square, there is a force act radially outward. Now resolve that force to two component, one is horizontal, another one is vertical. For horizontal, cos theta trigonometry term will come, for vertical component sin theta will come. As you know that sin theta is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse, then you get opposite side, for opposite side nothing but hypotenuse into this trigonometry term sin theta. Now each term, for you go for force polygon, omega will not consider here because it rotates at an uniform velocity, that finally that will get cancelled. If you include that omega value, that become again that complicated, the calculation become complicated, but finally we will get the same answer only, whether you consider omega or you neglect that omega in all the calculation. Similarly, for adjacent side, for as you know that cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse, but I need adjacent side. Adjacent side is equal to hypotenuse into cos theta. Okay, this is what the static balancing. Then go for dynamic balancing. When you go for dynamic balancing means what are the rotating masses are not in the same planes, they're different planes, means located in different planes, means consider a multi-stage compressor or turbines or multi-cylinder engines, or you can consider a rear wheel of a vehicle, that is a buses or trucks, rear axle, and each axle you can see the two tires are, that is called as a two-stage importance, means two tires are there, right? Means the one tire is located in one plane, another tire is located in another plane, that is called as a different plane. The masses are rotating in different plane. Then if you make it a balancing here, then what will be the condition? The sum that produces a couple, actually the dynamic balancer produces a couple, means movement. Then if you want to make it a balance, first what is the condition here? The sum of centrifugal force must be equal to 0, means vector sum of all the forces acting on a body equal to 0. Second one is the force into distance, means the difference between the plane is there, the distance between the planes are there, that is the produce, that distance that gives force into perpendicular distance, that will gives a couple or a moment. Then vector sum of all the couples or moment about an arbitrary point is equal to 0. Then if you want to make it as dynamic balancing, first one vector sum of all the force equal to 0. Second one vector sum of all the couple about an arbitrary plane is equal to 0. Now you can consider here on the shaft, one mass is located here m1 at the CG of the m1 with respect to the axis of the shaft, it is eccentricity is r1, and another mass is located here at a distance of L from the first mass, that is M2 R2. Consider this is the best example. You consider a rear axle of a buses or truck. You see that this is the first tire, this is the second tire, right? When you start rotating here, due to that what happens, the couple will form, the movement will form, right? The best example I can give here, what is the static and dynamic balancing here. You can feel that when you go for, if you have a car, then you go for after every 10,000 kilometers we'll go for a wheel balancing. Why do you go for wheel balancing here? See that, I think this slide is visible, someone has to give the response.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the
Yes,
tire,
sir.
the slide, the tires you can visible, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, now if you go for static balancing, you can see that tire is the original shape here it is. When if it is not statically balanced here, if it statically unbalanced means the wheel will move in vertical direction. You can see that. Okay, the wheel will move in vertical direction like that, up and down. That is a static balancing. If you go for a dynamic balancing, okay, or couple twisting here, couple or twisting force here, is a dynamic balancing means what happens, the wheel will go for a slightly tilt like this, right? Now when you go for ride, when you go for, yeah, yeah, ride the vehicles, okay, two-wheeler, it may be a four-wheeler vehicle, you can see that this we can feel it is right. Then what we'll do, we'll go for a wheel balancing method. How do you do the wheel balancing method? You can see the below figure here. In wheel balancing technique, what they will do, they will go for add some masses here, the wheel weight. They will add some billet like this. They will go for add into the rim. How do you add that? They have a testing machine is there, wheel balancing testing rig. There they put the car wheel and they will rotate at a certain speed. Then they will see where we go for mount the additional masses. That is called as a balancing mass, we call as, or counter masses. Once you attach counter masses at a distance, radial distance here, then again they will test here. If it, the wheel will not go for like this, they will not go for move up and down, or they will not go for twist like this, then it become a balanced condition. There you can see in the third figure also static balance and dynamic, static imbalance and dynamic imbalance. If it is a static imbalance means it occurs when there is a heavy or light spots in the tire that prevents the tire from rolling evenly and causing the tire and wheel to undergo an up and down motion. Best example you can see in a bicycle. When you ride the bicycle, suppose if your the bicycle tire is punctured or the blast occur. Now what they will do, the workshop man, they will give another a piece of tire to the main bicycle tire, right? Then you go for ride it. When you go for pedal it, you can see the each time you can feel it. It may be front wheel or rear wheel, a up and down motion. You can see that. Okay, some of the they can feel that one, right? Similarly, go for some other bicycle. If it is not dynamic balance here, dynamic imbalances occur means it occurs when there is an unequal weight on one or both side of the tire or wheel assembly laterally and central line, thus creating a side to side wobble or wheel chimney, right? Wheel shimmy means you can see that the tire is there. If you go for it, it slightly it will undergo twisting here. That is called as a dynamic imbalance. So when you ride a bicycle, you feel it, or in a use a bicycle, or it may be a motorcycle or a car. You can see in the car also the steering is slightly. If your wheel is not properly balanced, how do you check in the car? Just when you go for it, just leave the steering. If it go either left side or right side, automatically it go left or right side means the wheel is imbalanced condition. It is. If you go for balancing it, then you can see that if you leave the steer, it will go in the straight path only. Then it will become a balancing condition, means it may be both static and dynamic balancing. Yes, any doubt regarding this slide? Is any doubt? Okay. Now we'll go for balancing of rotating masses. First, we consider only rotating masses, means masses which are rotate about an axis, right? So, example for rotating masses, you take a mixer, grinder, washing machine, or a turbines, or turbo machineries, right? Those are comes under rotating machines, rotating masses we call as. So, whenever a certain mass is attached to a rotating shaft, it exerts a centrifugal force. That force, what is the centrifugal force, is mr omega square. In general formula, its magnitude is mr omega square. It acts radially outward, whose effect is to bend the shaft and to produce vibration in it. In order to prevent the effect of centrifugal force, another mass is attached to the effect of a centrifugal force of the first mass. This is done in such a way that centrifugal force of both the masses are made it to be equal and opposite. The process of providing second mass in order to counteract the effect of centrifugal force of the first mass is called as a balancing of rotating masses. For example, here consider a shaft. Over the shaft, the rotor is mounted here. Now, suppose in its shaft is rotate at an angular velocity, uniform angular velocity is omega here, right? Suppose if it is not balanced, the shaft is not balanced means what happens due to the centrifugal force acts radially outward. that will what happens, that will make to bend the shaft like this, right? That will make to bend the shaft like this. So now how do you make it balance? We'll go for attach a one more shaft, one more sorry mass, which is opposite to the disturbed mass. This is what we call as a disturbed mass. This M is a disturbed mass that produces centrifugal force M or omega square. Now we'll go for attach one more mass, counter mass, or we call as a balancing mass. That we represent as balancing mass is M suffix C. C stands for M stands for mass. C stands for counter mass. At a radius of rotation from the center of the axis of the shaft, it is R suffix C. Now what happens? That produces a one more centrifugal force which acts radially outward, that is Fc. What its magnitude? Fc is equal to mc rc. What is the speed at which its angular velocity is? Omega square, right? Again unit is Newton. That makes the counteract the or balancing the disturbed mass. That we call as the process of providing a second mass in order to counteract the effect of the centrifugal force of the first mass. That we call as a balancing of rotating masses. Yeah, now how do you make balance here? For balancing rotating masses, we have a four different cases are there. Suppose for only one disturbed mass is there, means what we can see in the previous slide. Here you can see the only one mass is attached here. This is a disturbed mass. If only one disturbed mass is there, then I want to make it balance. Balancing of a single rotating mass by a single mass rotating in the same plane. See that here in the figure number 1. In the figure 1, M1 is a disturbing mass at a distance of the center of the axis to here R1. So it rotates at angular velocity, uniform angular velocity. This is angular of axis of rotation. Then how do you make it balance here? This is a front view, this is a side view actually. How do you make it balance here? We'll go for attach a one more mass, there's a counter mass or balanced mass opposite to the disturbed mass in the same plane. In the same plane. That is the first condition. Balancing of a single rotating mass by a single mass rotating in the same plane. This is case number 1. Second case number 2, the balancing of a single rotating mass by two masses rotating in different planes. Okay, if you go for balancing only one mass, single rotating masses, how do you make it balancing? But considering two balanced mass or counter masses. Again, in that we have a sub cases are there. One is the plane of disturbing mass may in between the planes of two balancing masses. Now you can see the figure number 2a. Now this is the disturbed mass. The dashed line shows, the hatched one shows disturbing mass, that is M. So what I want to make it balance this disturbed mass, we'll put two other masses, counter masses or balanced masses. Where is disturbed masses lies here? In between the counter masses or balancing masses. There is a case number 1. In the second case, case number 1. Now again, those are all are okay. In the what is the counter masses are not in the same plane. Here in the two different plane. There's a plane A, another one is plane B, right? Okay. Second case here, second sub case, the plane of disturbing mass may lie in on the left or right side of the two planes containing balancing masses. Now you can see a disturbed mass here. I want to make it this balancing this disturbed mass, only one single disturbed mass by considering two rotating masses. Here you consider two in the right side of the disturbed mass. Okay, right side of the two counter masses or balancing masses are consider right side of the disturbed mass. See that the plane of disturbing mass may lie in the left or right of the two planes containing balancing masses. Now disturbed mass here, towards the left side of those two counter masses, or it may be comes here in the reverse direction also. Okay, this is second case. First case, balancing of a single rotating mass by taking a single counter masses in the same plane. Second case, balancing of a single rotating mass by considering two counter masses rotating in different plane. In that, two cases will come, whether the counter mass is in between two disturbing mass, or the counter mass may lie in on one side, either left side or right side of the counter masses. Third one is balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane. Now see that in the figure number 3, several masses are rotating in the same plane. Okay, by viewing this, by seeing the side view, you come to know that all the masses comes in the same plane. Okay, that is a third case, balancing of rotating masses in the same plane. Fourth one is the fourth one, balancing of several masses rotating in different planes. Balancing of several masses rotating in different planes. See that here the planes 1, 2, 3, 4, L and M. These are the different planes, or that the masses are located here. This is a plane position, this is an angular position. Now best practical example where we can give these four cases. Okay, suppose if you make a static balancing, if you only one disturbed mass is there, then I want to make it balance here, we'll go for add one more mass opposite to that one. That is the best example you can give, the balancing of single rotating masses by single mass rotating in same plane. Then balancing of single rotating mass by two masses are rotating in different plane. Okay, that I'll give the later, I'll give this practical application. For third case, balancing of several masses rotating in same plane means if you take a fan, okay, ceiling fan, that is all the blades. So for ceiling fan having a three blades. See the all the three blades are located in which plane? On the same plane only, right? Then balancing of several masses rotating in different plane means take consider a rear wheel axle of a buses and trucks. So on each side the axle, we can see the two tires are there, right? First tire is located in one plane, second tire is located in another plane. These are the four different cases of we can see in the balancing of rotating masses. Now these are some example you can see here. Now figure number 1, ceiling fan. Yes, yes, Kishan, yeah, Charan Kumar N is there. Charan Kumar N, US number 22. Yes, Charan Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Now figure number A, ceiling fan. Now it will come under which case, man? There are four different cases are there in balancing rotating masses, right? And out of which ceiling fan will come under which case it is?
Sir, tell me, sir.
Yeah, figure number A, you can visible, man.
Sir,
Figure A is visible.
sir, tell me, sir. Sir,
The time is upgrading here, 10 minutes still have. Okay, once it is ended here, again you should rejoin the session. Yes, Charan, my voice is audible, man. Okay, Abhishek C. Abhishek C.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, who is that?
Abhishek, sir.
Abhishek C. Yeah. So you can see the figure here, man. Ceiling fan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now
Yes, sir.
case it will come, man. Ceiling fan. Which balancing of rotating masses? The case number 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Sir, balancing 3, sir.
Balancing number 3. What is the case? What it says that the balancing of rotating masses, several rotating masses rotate in same plane, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
What about figure B? Figure B, consider only this portion here. Profile shaft that contains the blades.
Blades.
Which case it is? Abhishek Reddy M. Abhishek Reddy M.
Sir.
Which number 6?
Sir,
Now tell me figure B will come under which case, ma'am? The profile
same sir.
propeller shaft.
Balancing of several masses rotating in a same plane.
Yeah, balancing of several masses rotating in same plane.
Same plane.
Good, ma'am. Okay. Okay, mute yourself. Anu Reddy J is there. Use number 7. Anu Reddy.
Sir,
Yeah. Now figure C. It is a multi-stage turbine. Multi-stage turbine means several stages are there. It may be low pressure, multi-stage steam turbine here. Now you can see on one plane, one set of rotor blades are there. Second stage has one set of rotors. Several stages are there. Now these will come under which type of balancing case now?
fourth type, sir. Fourth.
What is the fourth case? What is the fourth case tells that? Balancing of several masses rotating in different planes. Balancing of several masses rotating in different plane. Yes. Archana J. No. Archana J is there. So Archan J. Okay. Athar Saifullah.
Yes, sir.
Athar Saifullah. Now figure D. It's a gas turbine. Now first you can see the fan. Next compressor. Okay, low pressure compressor. Next you can see high pressure compressor. Next you can see low pressure turbine, high pressure turbine. Now these are again on the each rotor you can see so many number of blades. Okay. Now tell me which case it is. Rotating, this also rotating masses that will come under which case? Saifullah.
Sir, rotational direction, sir.
Sorry. Which case? There are 4 cases. Balancing the rotating mass, 4 cases. One is only one mass, single mass rotating in. That is a single disturbed mass is there. Then how do you make it balance? By giving a single balance, counterbalance mass that located in same plane. Second one is single disturbed mass is there. Then how do you make it balance? Two counter masses are attached in 2 different planes. Third one, several masses rotating in the same plane. Then fourth one, several masses rotating in different plane. Out of 4 cases, the gas turbine engine will come under which type of case it is? One set of, you can see the
Sir,
fan.
third case, sir.
Sorry?
Third case.
Third case. Okay, if you consider only fan means that will come under third case. Means balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane. But here a fan is there, compressor, low pressure compressor, high pressure compressor, low pressure turbine, high pressure turbine is there. Gas turbine is there. Means several stages are there. For several stages, balancing of several masses rotating
Yes,
in
sir.
different plane. Means that is a
Same
which
plane,
case
sir.
it is? Which case it is? Saifullah.
Third case, sir. Third case.
Not third case, fourth case, man.
Fourth case, sir. Fourth case. Sorry, sir.
Okay, now see that these are the 4 different cases are there. One is balancing of single rotating masses by a single mass rotating in the same plane. Second one, balancing of single rotating masses by 2 masses rotating in different plane. Means only one disturbed mass is there. I want to make it balance, 2 counter masses will use here. Third case, balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane. Best example I can give, balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane. Take a ceiling fan, or you can see the gain wheel. So gain wheel, all the gain wheel, you can see that. So once you start rotating here, okay, so it is located in the same plane. Each passage, each comfort is located in the same plane. And balancing of several masses rotating in different plane means, if you take a multi-stage compressor, okay, multi-stage turbines, etc. Okay. Now these are some of the applications what we can see here. Now we'll go for study the step by step how do you make it balance. Now first condition is balancing of a single rotating masses. How do you make it balanced? By considering a single mass rotating in the same plane. I think this slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
The balancing of single rotating masses of a single mass rotating in the same plane. Now consider a shaft. Over the on this side you can see the bearings. Now over the shaft a rotor is attached here. The center of the rotor is not coincide with the center of the shaft, means not coincide with the axis of the shaft. That's why you can see the eccentricity. That eccentricity we call as a R1. The whole mass of the rotor you represent as M1. Now once you start rotating here, that produces a disturbing masses. That how much centrifugal force is generated here? F1 is equal to M1 R1 omega square in Newton, right? Now how do you make it balance? This is a single disturbed mass. How do you make it balance? Again we attach one more mass. This is balancing mass opposite to the disturbed mass in the same plane. Now you can see that MC is nothing but the counter masses or balancing masses, where it is located here from the same plane at a distance of RC. That produces one more centrifugal force FC, that is MC RC omega C. That FC is opposite to the F1, right? Now see the let M1 is the disturbing mass in kg, R1 is the radius of rotation of mass, M1 in meter, MC is a balancing or counter mass in kg, RC is nothing but radius of rotation of balancing mass, MC in meter. Now how do you make it balance? Now we'll go for apply a static balancing technique. What is static balancing technique means? Vector sum of all the force equal to 0. Here what type of force acting here? Centrifugal force. It acts radially outward. Upward forces are positive, downward forces are negative. So here F1 is acting upward plus F1, FC is acting downward minus FC is equal to 0. Now F1 is equal to FC. What is F1? M1 R1 omega square, that is equal to MC RC omega square. The shaft rotates the angular uniform angular velocity, that is omega square. Omega square cancel. Finally what is the condition here? M1 R1 is equal to MC RC. M1 R1 we know that if I give an RC value or MC value we know that, then you can calculate RC. Or if you know RC, then you go for calculate MC. Now I have only less than 1 minute time. Okay, the session will end here. After once the session is ended, again rejoin the session. Okay. Now what is the statement? M1 R1 is equal to MC RC. M1 R1 already we know that the distance